It's movie time.
Hey guys, welcome to episode 1.6 of the T.A.B.S Championship. In today's episode we're going to be seeing the clubber go up against the new Renaissance units. I apologise in advance for some points in the video where I may have gotten things wrong. They should hopefully all be corrected with captions. That's not telling you to turn on captions. I mean, like, I'll have words appear on screen. And if you do see any other errors, just leave a comment and I will sheepishly apologise and not remake the video because I'm a lazy bugger, which is also the reason this video is so late. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy and I'll see you literally right now. I don't know, I shouldn't have said that. It's because I record the intros at a different time to the rest of the footage. So to me, it's like time has passed, but to you guys, it's going to be instantaneous. In fact, oh, look at that. It's coming in right. Alright, so we have clubbers against painters, which are the shitty infantry of this new faction. But they're good enough to take on the clubbers as they will take round 1. Round 2, it's 1-0 to the painters. There was a very short painter there. Hopefully he can still pull his weight even if it is less, and he can. It's now 2-0 to the painters into the possibly final round. Probably will be. Painters seem like they have this. I think it's because they're good at short range. You know, their reach is shorter, which means when they swarm a guy, they really wreck him. Second match is fencers against clubbers. Fencers do like a little riposte kind of thing where they like jump backwards, like whop, out of the way of an attack, and it looks like that's enough to let them take round 1. We're going into round 2. It's 1-0 to the clubbers. Well, it's 1-0 to the fencers. It's the clubbers who have the nil. This one looks a bit more even. There's 2 clubbers left, but no, they lose. These guys have longer range than the painters, and the dodging means against the clubbers who have relatively low attack speed, it's just too good. It takes like 2 clubbers attacking the fencer at the same time to beat him. They win against the clubbers. Third match, balloon archers versus clubbers. Balloon archers are very similar to firework archers actually. And what you often find is that they try and shoot guys who are already in the air, as you can see there a bit, which they almost always miss, because one arrow doesn't actually kill even these shitty clubber guys. So I would say balloon archers aren't as good as firework archers, but they are still good against singular tough units, because you just debilitate them from the fight. And they're actually very good with the next unit we'll see, which is musketmen, because the musketmen are much more accurate, and so they can snipe out the guys who are floating in the air. Also, their chin straps kind of make it look like they have weird little beards. It's not a complaint, just something I thought I should add. I must say, I do really like the look of these whole Renaissance guys with like their multicoloured trousers and things. Reminds me of the Empire from Warhammer Fantasy. But it looks like the clubbers are going to win this one, at least if the past couple of rounds are anything to go by, as they have won the past few. Oh. But yeah, it looks a bit dodgy for the clubbers at the beginning, because they're all in the air and off the top of the screen, but what you have to realise is that they do survive one full shot and then fall from the archers. I realise I used fall as in like falling, and full as in full up. And they sounded the same. Oh my god, what is happening there? Look at that. What the? That guy's alive, I think. He didn't drop his club. Yeah, he was getting up there at the end. Right, now it's musketmen against the clubbers. The musketmen, their reload is brutal in an engagement like that. Look at that tiny guy at the front. I guess it's quite useful actually, because the guys behind him can shoot over the top of his head. Or maybe he'll just die before they get off a second shot. Either way works, I guess. At least they won't be friendly firing. If you did a bit of slow-mo so we could really see the bullets fly through there, as they are quite fast. These guys have like conquistador helmets, which is pretty cool. I'd love to see maybe an Aztec faction to fight the conquistadors. That would be epic. But as you can see, these guys are just going to get destroyed, and I don't think they'll win this round either. It's probably going to be a clean sweep for the clubbers. I say probably, obviously I already know the results because these are my third time watching these matches, but let's just pretend I'm seeing them live. Like these guys. Oh, anything could happen. Oh, the musket men are going to do it. They're going to... No, they didn't. Maybe they should have fired before they could see the whites of their eyes. Now we have halberd men who do this weird, like, falling over attack, but it's generally quite effective. And like the monks, they're actually very tanky for their size. So I think they will have this. You might be thinking, well, you just said about how you already know, but I recorded it quite a long time ago, so I've actually forgotten in some cases. But after seeing that first round, I do know the results. But I won't spoil them, guys, don't worry. These guys, again, look like members of the Empire from Warhammer Fantasy. I like it. Traditionally, halberd men are quite good as well. The long reach was a big part of combat for a good few hundreds of years. The longer your reach, the better. The guy with the longest stick always wins. But, of course, if you can close in that distance, there's not much they can do. Because if you get past the point of their weapon, be it spear, halberd, or penis, there's not much they can do to you. Although I'm not sure if that translates into this game, as the AI is not exactly I, if you know what I mean. It's artificial, but it's not really intelligence. Maybe I shouldn't have explained that joke, but I was worried that the guys watching this also are lacking in the eye department. I'm pretty sure I read in my YouTube handbook actually you're not supposed to insult your audience, but hey ho. That guy like swung backwards. Did you see that? That was hype. He like did some epic, like he swung backwards to get more momentum when he came down. That was an executioner's blow right there. Executioner's blow is also my finishing move, both in the wrestling arena and the bedroom. You know, I'm not sure how I feel about making these crass jokes. Maybe the humour should be more highbrow. I don't know. I haven't quite decided what I want my comedy style to be. See, now I'm really just ignoring what's going on, although it is quite interesting, and just talking about my YouTube inverted commas career, which is probably even worse to do than insulting the audience. I should just relax more about it, but I can't. I'm in a very pseudo-philosophical mood. Emphasis on the pseudo. Anyway, back to the match. It looks like the halberdiers are going to win, even though they are heavily outnumbered. They're just too good. They're just too tanky. And I think they are a lot better than monks, even though they cost more. I think they probably will win against the mugs, and you can quote the mugs. I mean, they would win against a bunch of mugs, that's for sure, but I think they'd win against the monks as well. Now, this one was originally recorded in slow motion, which is why the sound is a bit messed up, because the sheer volume of clubbers was a bit too much. And this is cavalry versus clubbers. I am actually slightly worried that they're not called cavalry and are called jousters. If that is the case, I will have a caption appear on screen right now telling you that I'm a big dum-dum. So what's interesting about them is the horse can die and then the rider continues to fight without his horse, which is cool. But as you possibly would expect, they're not too great against the barbarian hordes of the clubbers. They're good on the initial charge, but then it's like the problem I was talking about earlier with the spears and the halberds and stuff. Once your opponents get past your initial, tip, there's not much you can do to them with that big old candy cane looking lance. The shields are good though, something you might notice as these goes on. They do shield, mini shield bashes, which are actually more effective than the lances from what I saw when recording this. I tell you what would be interesting, I wonder if the rider can die but the horse is still alive. I don't know, I haven't seen such a thing. Possibly if they're up against a ranged opponent we would see the riders get sniped down. I don't know. Obviously in real life, if your horse goes down, you're quite likely to be flown flown? That's not what I meant to say. You're quite likely to be flung off of it, which is... Oh, there, you saw a little shield bash before he died. Which was deadly in some cases. Because of reasons. The other thing, these guys obviously look really armoured. And I guess they are, because he has taken quite the pummeling there. So, that's cool. Will he be able to get an attack off? Well, you heard the clang of the shield on bone, presumably. Wow, that big boom! Oh, it sounds good. It doesn't sound that good, not in slow motion, I will say. But I guess... Oh, it sounds like his heart was beating because of all the... Like the... of like the clubbers and stuff. Wow, look at that. It's just devastating, that initial charge. So much carnage, but then they all get caught up in each other and they're like being swarmed at all sides. Although this round looks a bit closer than the others, I would say. That guy's charging off. That's what you want. You want them to be able to get away and then come in for another charge. Maybe not like that. What's that clubber doing there on the right? Just off on his own. I don't know, he's in his own little world. But maybe it will prove beneficial for the cavalry. Just having that one guy distracted. Are we going to get to see a shield bash? There you go. Got a double kill with that shield bash. Whereas... I said whereas. I mixed weather and whereas together to make a shitty, unreal word. Obviously, I much prefer the Unity word than the Unreal word. That was a bit of a game engine joke there. A bit more highbrow. Oh, there's that guy on his own. He's still on his own. He's done like a full circuit of the battleground. Will this dude be able to get a nice lance charge on him? I hope so. I'd love to see that. I think it would be nice if they could actually, like, stick guys on the end of their lance. Right, like, the Vlad unit in the secret units, does he get people stuck on the end of his stake? I actually can't remember. But, oh, now we're on to the final fight. The Clubbers took that one. This is Clubbers versus Da Vinci tanks. And as you can see, I had to get a hell of a lot of Clubbers for the amount of Da Vinci tanks. Because the lowest common multiple of like 4,050 was quite high. It was 28,000? That can't be right. Maybe the tanks aren't 4,000. I can't even remember how much tanks are. Again, there'll be a caption on screen, I guess, right now. But, so this one I had to play in super slow motion. And then I had to fast forward it a lot. And the reason it's silent is because the super slow motion is silent. It's beautiful though when the tanks break apart like that and all the segments fly out. Really nice. There you go, another one down. This one, it was so hard to tell who was winning, to be honest. The sheer mass of clubbers means it's hard to distinguish the living from the dead when they're all piled up on each other's bodies. And it's hard to tell how close the Da Vinci tanks are to dying as well. Now, because this battle took so long to simulate, you guys have no idea, because the whole thing was on super slow-mo, that I could not be bothered to re-simulate it. This wasn't a best of 5, I must admit. It was only a best of 1. So, just bear that in mind. It's all to play for. Match point, game point. No, it's not game point, but it is match point. And it's looking like the tanks are going to have this one. Oh, beautiful. Oh, it looks so good when they explode like that. I think there's only one clubber. No, there's a couple. Look at that guy walking over. Sorry for the super zoomed out view. Oh, tank shot his other tank there. Friendly fire. Oh, shooting back. He's retaliating though. No, he's actually shooting at a little clubber who's lying there, I believe. Oh, another guy's standing up. Is he? Is there a dude No, it was just something despawning. But anyway, the reason it was zoomed out for so long was because I was worried the game would crash if I looked around like this. But at this point, I couldn't see any living clubbers, so I had a little search and spoiler alert, I never found any living clubbers. And I had to assume that there were like a couple that were alive but completely stuck underneath the pile of bodies. And so basically I gave the win to the Da Vinci tanks, and we'll just say they win every time. For those of you keeping score, the scores for the clubber, his wins and losses, will be totalled up at the end of episode 1.9 to include episode 1, episode 1.3, episode 1.6 and episode 1.9, which isn't out yet. And then we'll move on to episode 2, which will be the almighty Caveman Protector. So look forward to that, because I do. Hey, thanks for sticking around and watching the whole video, guys. I appreciate it. I thought maybe we could start doing a little thing where I give you guys a weird little word for you to say in the comments section. Just leave a comment with no context, just saying the special word, and then I'll give you some love in the comments. They won't always be at the end of the episodes either. I'll just slip them in somewhere, so only the true fans who watch the whole thing can know what they are. Yeah. It's also just a cynical way for me to get some fan interaction, because that's healthy for my brand. So I say today, it should more like this next 3 months' special word is going to be adapt. 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 So leave that in the comments. I'll see you guys next time. And now I'm going to go record the message that you heard before this outro started, because I'm unorganised and a dum-dum. Bye.